Hello and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're keeping safe and well. I'm absolutely delighted to bring on transfer expert Fabrizio Romano once again for the third time in a week. Fabrizio, how's your week been?
Hello, it's been a good week, really busy, but a good week. I hope for you too. Thank you again for the invitation. And I hope next time we will meet, finally you will have a manager because you deserve it.
This is the big question. Now, please can you just bring us up to date with the Antonio Conte situation, because reports are stating at the moment that the deal could be back on. Is this true?
At the moment, I'm told that there is nothing going on between Tottenham and Antonio Conte representatives at the moment. But to be honest with you, last time I was checking also about this situation during the weekend, I've been told that Antonio has not changed his mind. So he still wants the same things from Tottenham. So it's up to Tottenham. If they want to try again, they have to go with Antonio Conte priorities. So as we said many times also here, it's about the project, it's about the vision, it's about the budget, it's about the investments, it's about the staff members. So there are many things to discuss and not just one. So that's why Antonio is always saying also to his representatives that his position is still the same. He wants to fight to win, maybe in long term, but to win. And at the moment, he needs this kind of project. So it's up to Tottenham. If they want to change the situation, they have the opportunity because Conte is available on the market. But as we always say here, Antonio Conte has clear ideas. Or you go with him or you have a problem. That's it.
Fabrizio, what actually are the main issues here?
I'm going to tell you one by one so we can try to explicate the world situation. One of the biggest one is about the staff members, because I know that when you talk about some managers, maybe in top clubs, you say, okay, the staff is not so important. For Antonio Conte, it's something really, really important. If Antonio Conte won the league with Inter, doing an amazing job, and did what he did in the last years with Chelsea, with Juventus, with Italian national team, is also because of his fantastic staff. They do an amazing job. So members of the staff are so important for Antonio Conte. And as you can see from Antonio Conte energy, he always wants to bring his full energy to the club. So not just going with not 100% motivation, no 100% his team together with Antonio. So that's why he wants the full staff together with him. And at the moment, Tottenham were saying till Friday when the negotiation broken, they always said, we allow you to bring 4 members for the staff and not the whole staff. So at the moment, staff is one of the biggest problems. Let's see what happens also on the part of the salary, because at the moment, I've been told that the situation has been always the same. 3 million euro of difference between what Antonio is asking and what Tottenham are offering for him as new manager. We're also discussing about investments and so project and so budget. I don't know exactly about the budget of Tottenham, to be honest with you, but I'm told that Antonio wants to change. He wants to be part of the process of changing the club, signing new players, deciding together about what kind of players Tottenham need. So he wants to be 100% involved in this kind of situation. And also, if the negotiation will be open again, at the moment I'm told there is nothing going on. But if Tottenham will decide to try again with Conte, I have to add that Antonio camp was really disappointed about what's happening with Tottenham, sharing the news that they decided to say no to Antonio Conte, because the situation was not exactly like this. So, it's normal in this moment to have this kind of negotiation. They have issues on many things, as I said, but Antonio is available because he's free, and Tottenham are looking for a manager. So we can't say it's definitely finished. But at the moment, there is still nothing going on. Also because Antonio wanted Tottenham job. He was really tempted till Friday, but he wanted to be 100% involved in the process. If he's involved 90 or 80, it's not for Antonio Conte.
So Fabrizio, if Tottenham go back and say, yes, you can have what you want, he will come to Tottenham gladly.
I think yes. I'm not Antonio Conte, unfortunately, but I think yes, because he was tempted by the project, He was tempted also by the challenge, say, okay, let's win also with Tottenham. I won with Inter after 11 years. They were not winning the league. I was doing the same with Juventus from the 7th position to winning 3 times in a row the Scudetto, Serie A. So he always been tempted also with this Tottenham opportunity. But I think if on Friday you have issue on the salary, issue on the investments, issue on the project, issue also on the situation of the staff, and today you change all these kind of things, will be massive. Let's see what Daniel Levy will do. At the moment, I'm told there is nothing going on.
Fabrizio, what do you think is the real issue with the amount of staff members, 4 staff members? Because Do you think that Tottenham are reluctant because they want to keep people like Ryan Mason and Ledley King on the staff? Is that why?
Maybe. I don't know exactly what Tottenham plan is, but I just know that they are only allowing Antonio to bring 4 members for the staff. So that's what I'm told, that they are still convinced about. They have maybe people in the club that are okay and ready to work with Antonio Conte. But for Antonio Conte, having different peoples is so important. To make you an example, Antonio Pintos, who was the man working by the physical part of the team and always in the staff of Antonio Conte, has joined Real Madrid. So he already lost one of his favorite person in the staff because of the timing of this negotiation, and he joined Real Madrid like 2 or 3 days ago. So, you know, also this kind of part of the staff is so important for Antonio Conte. This season, last one, Inter had no problems with injuries. No problems. Was one of the key of Inter. Imagine that they had only Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku as strikers and only Alexis Sanchez as backup for the world season, and they never had an injury. Key players of Inter never had an injury. So Antonio, to bring all his best level, he needs the staff. That's why he's really pushing on this point. But maybe Tottenham have a different style, but it's not just about Tottenham, you know, it's about English clubs. They have different style. When they appoint a new manager, they also want to keep someone in the staff from the club. It's part of the process in England. But if you want Antonio Conte, as we always say here also while they were negotiating, you have to go 100% with his ideas or you have a problem. That's it.
So is it fair to say that the door is not completely closed on this deal, and the ball is clearly in Tottenham's court to go back to Antonio Conte now with another offer?
I would say yes, just because Antonio is available. Antonio is available on the market, and he has with no other club. He's not negotiating with any other club. So his feeling also some days ago was Tottenham, or I step for 1 year, I have a standby season, and then let's say next summer what happens. So at the moment, Antonio is available and Tottenham are looking for a manager. So I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I'm saying that at the moment, in this moment, there are no negotiations. But maybe let's see what happens in the next hours or days. At the moment, there are no negotiations.
Fabrizio, you tweeted yesterday about Mauricio Pochettino saying he is not leaving PSG. Is this 100% that Pochettino is absolutely no chance of him coming back to Tottenham?
According to Paris Saint-Germain sources, yes, they have seen many times in private, so they are always saying that Pochettino is not going anywhere. The same in public, because Leonardo also another time said Pochettino is not leaving. We are working with him on a transfer market, but we have also facts right now, because during the weekend with Wijnaldum to make his choice between Barcelona bid and Paris Saint-Germain bid, Pochettino was calling Wijnaldum several times. He was telling him, I wanted you 5 years ago when I was at Tottenham, join me at Paris Saint-Germain, we have this big opportunity to stay together. So Pochettino was key in the negotiation between Wijnaldum and Paris Saint-Germain. So if you are not 100% involved in the club, you are not calling players to join the club. That's the point. So that's why the feeling around Pochettino is that he's really staying at Paris Saint-Germain. That's it.
Fabrizio, lots of reports out in England stating that if Antonio Conte doesn't come to Spurs, then Tottenham are now looking at Erik ten Hag again. Any truth in this?
I'm told that, you know, as we said, they had the meeting with Ten Hag, and this meeting was not so positive between Tottenham and Ten Hag because of Tottenham position. They were not maybe 100% convinced in this moment about Ten Hag. Now the situation is different, of course, because they have been talking with Pochettino and with Conte. So maybe now they have to accept something different. Also, it's a style of manager. So they have to manage also this kind of situation. At the moment, I'm told from my side that they are convinced that Ten Hag is not leaving after he signed a new contract. He has a strong relationship with the sport director, Mark Overmars. So they are still convinced that after signing the new contract, Ten Hag is still convinced about staying at Ajax. But, you know, if Tottenham go 100% convinced with Ten Hag, maybe they have a chance, because Tottenham are a fantastic club. They have a fantastic training ground. This was something also Antonio Conte was really tempted. When you have this kind of training ground, your own stadium, managers are so tempted. But they know to go 100% or Ten Hag, because if you don't go 100% convinced, this kind of managers are staying where they are. So that's why the situation is not so easy with Erik ten Hag.
Fabrizio, you just mentioned there, fantastic stadium, training facilities, you know, he's got some great players at Spurs. Why Tottenham having a big problem at the moment in appointing a manager, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I think timing was not the best one, to be honest. So sacking Mourinho before the final, then you have problems with the biggest names because going for Pochettino was really complicated. They were not 100% convinced on Ten Hag, and also Antonio Conte is a complicated manager to a point. In particular, if you're not 100% convinced about how much you're investing and how much you want him involved in the process of signing the players. So I think the biggest problem right now is also about the situation of Harry Kane. Because you know that for a manager arriving at Tottenham and knowing that your best player, your star, wants to leave the club to play Champions League football, because the rumor around Harry Kane is always the same. He wants to go. But always to respect Tottenham, we have to say that Tottenham board are saying that Harry Kane is not moving. So they are on two different positions, but you know, you have a problem in this moment with Harry Kane. This is also something that is creating problem because, you know, I joined Tottenham. There are many clubs in Premier League ready to win the league. Manchester City, Manchester United are improving, Chelsea won the Champions League, and Liverpool will be back. So it will be really complicated to be part of the process to win in the Premier League this season. You know, for a manager, maybe look at Brendan Rodgers, for example. He has a project with Leicester, and moving from a project to another one, and you have Harry Kane with the doubt, who is something that is not the best moment to make the decision for the new manager. So I think also they were also not in the best moment to sack Mourinho because they created the problem in the dressing room. So, you know, this kind of situation have been all in the same moment, and that's why now Tottenham, they have to decide with clear ideas. They need clear ideas because Tottenham fans deserve it, and now after a difficult moment to appoint a new manager, they need to be 100% convinced of what they're doing.
Well, it's been a very frustrating few days, I must say, Fabrizio. The fan base are very, very unhappy right now and very frustrated. Now, last week when we spoke, we mentioned managers such as Graham Potter, Scott Parker and Roberto Martinez. You mentioned earlier as well that Tottenham had already spoken to Erik Ten Hag. Can you confirm that Tottenham have spoken to any other managers?
It's a contact between intermediary, you know. Many times clubs are using intermediary or agents to work around these things. Then if you are 100% interested in the manager, you are going to meet him, of course. But around intermediary, yes, they've been talking with many ones to consider some opportunities, I would say. So to see if they're available, what kind of idea they have. So I'm sure that after the big problem with the public negotiation, I would say, with Pochettino and with Antonio Conte, now they are going with top secret negotiation for the next one because they can't again have problems on this side. And that's why they were saying, we don't want Antonio Conte anymore on Friday. So they were in this position because they know that the situation was complicated with the fan base, but now they have to go 100% convinced with their ideas, and they need something new, something fresh, but they're working on it. And I think that Fabio Paratici will be involved now also in the decision of the new manager to help the club and to be together in the decision for the next manager.
Talking about Fabio Paratici, the new director of football, when will he be travelling to London to start his new job?
I don't know when, because, you know, he needs to plan with the family. So it's about the next days. He has to decide with his family. He's moving from Torino. Imagine that he lived 11 years in Torino. So it's a big change also for him. But for sure, Fabio Paratici will work for Tottenham. He's already starting his talks with people in the club, planning for something new for Tottenham. So he's already thinking as a Tottenham director of football that it will take some time to complete everything about contracts, about moving to London and everything, but he's already thinking for Tottenham and with Tottenham. So I expect him also to be involved in the decision of the new manager, to be honest.
Wow. Fabrizio, we spoke last week and you said to me that you thought that Tottenham would employ a new boss before the Euros. Do you still stand by that?
It was Antonio Conte, and they were convinced to go with Antonio Conte. So you know, now the situation is getting complicated. Let's see. I think they still hope to make a surprise and to open the manager in the next days and to complete everything before the Euros. But it's getting really, really complicated. For sure, they will get the new director of football. And trust me, to give you also some confidence, because I see that Tottenham fans, of course, in this moment is complicated because of the pitch situation, because of the manager situation. But to give you also some confidence, trust me, Fabio Paratici is like a new signing. Daniel Levy did something great with Fabio Paratici because he's an amazing director. He did an amazing job at Juventus. So I know now the situation is not easy because of the manager, because of Kane, because of the last season. But I'm sure that Paratici is the first step to do something important in the club in a long-term vision.
if he's a good friend of Antonio Conte, do you think he'd be on the phone saying, "Come on, I've joined. Come and join me now"?
He's a good friend, yes, but he knows that Antonio Conte, he's like this. He's always what I say or nothing. So he knows that pressing Antonio Conte doesn't make any sense. He wants to be clear, 100% clear, Antonio. So also one clear project. If he has a clear project, he joins and he will be 100% committed to the club. If not, he's not joining. So it's not about Fabio Paratici, with Antonio Conte. He was talking, obviously, on this kind of situation to understand what's happening, but he's not dependent by Paratici. And I would say, of course, he was helping with the situation of the manager, but what Fabio Paratici is great to do is about the players. He's fantastic to watch players, to have relationship with agents, to work 24 hours per day. We know so well him in Italy because he built Juventus. They did an amazing job winning the league 9 times in a row, and Fabio Paratici was part of this job.
Fabrizio, let's talk a little bit about transfers. Any truth in Jose Mourinho contacting Hugo Lloris to join Roma?
I've been told at the moment, no. At the moment, there is nothing going on about Lloris. They need to wait. They want to wait about the new manager, because the style of the new manager would be important. To make an example, Antonio Conte loves goalkeepers, good to play with the team, with the defense, always playing the ball and not just making goalkeepers. So he was changing Andanovic into goalkeeper, changing his mind to play with Fools, that will be available for the defense and playing. If you want this kind of goalkeeper or if you want to continue with Lloris. So they will decide after the new manager will be appointed. But I'm told that Roma 100% will sign a new goalkeeper, but they don't want to spend crazy for wages of the goalkeepers,
Moussa Sissoko has said that he's open to a move elsewhere. Anyone coming in for him?
And it's interesting also to see what happens with the manager. For sure, he's interested in moving because, as he said, he wants to play. He wants to try something different. But, I always mention Antonio Conte because I know how he works. But if you had Antonio Conte, I'm sure that Antonio was going to talk with this kind of players like Sissoko and many others that wanted to maybe change or talk with the club and say, stay here and let's change the situation together. Because he has this mentality to change the situation with the players. So, apart from Antonio Conte, let's see who will be the new manager and what he will decide with this kind of players. Because really, it really depends by the player. To make an example, also with Lucas Moura, he's waiting to see what happens because with Antonio Conte was getting complicated because he's playing with 3-5-2. Now, if a different manager will arrive playing with wingers, maybe Lucas could stay. If not, he could leave. Al Hilal are asking information about him. Let's see what happens.
What about Dele Alli? Could he possibly join PSG to be reunited with Pochettino? Because, of course, we heard the rumours, some months ago. Could that be revisited?
It was 100% true. Dele Alli was close to join Paris Saint-Germain in January. They wanted him on loan till June. Pochettino wanted him strongly, and he still wants him. So he says Dele Alli is a fantastic player. But, I don't want to say always the same, but really, if you call agents, directors, or this kind of people in football, everyone involved around Tottenham, they're saying, we're waiting for the manager because it depends how they will play, what kind of project they're going to start. And also Dele Alli is waiting to understand what happens with Tottenham. For sure, Paris Saint-Germain have an interest, but now they're going to sign Wijnaldum. So they have a new midfielder and they don't need to spend a lot of money. So maybe they can try again with Dele Alli. They like Dele Alli. Pochettino wants Dele Alli. But at the moment, we have always still to remember about Daniel Levy's position. Because as we said for Harry Kane, in January, he was really one step away from joining Paris Saint-Germain. But just missing Daniel Levy to say, okay, yes, you can go. And he didn't because he wanted to keep Dele Alli. So he's always keeping best players. And that's why I think it won't be easy for Paris Saint-Germain to sign him.
Fabrizio, I've got to go back to the point about the manager. And last question for you. If Pochettino's not coming and Erik ten Hag is staying at Ajax and Antonio Conte does not come to Tottenham, what is plan B? What do Tottenham do next?
Going with something secret, I'm sure. So they can't continue in public because, with public news coming on the manager, it's creating some problems. Also, with Conte was like this, with Pochettino was like this, because when the news was broke from, I think was The Athletic, broking the news about Pochettino discussing with Tottenham people, it was a problem in the negotiation. Of course, it's normal. It's part of our job as journalists, but sometimes for the club it's a problem when you're negotiating, when Paris Saint-Germain are not aware of the situation. So, now they need to go with something secret and with clear ideas. So let's see what happens with Conte, with Ten Hag, with many others involved. But I'm sure that it's just a matter of some days. And I hope for Tottenham first because they need a clear project. And I hope that they will also keep Harry Kane, also if it won't be easy.
an interesting few days coming up. Fabrizio, can't thank you enough. Thanks so much as always.
Thank you, my friend. Speak soon, and thank you also to many people. I see they're asking about Maurizio Sarri, but I'm told that now he's not negotiating with Tottenham. So let's see what happens. Let's see what's next. Thank you.
The wait continues. Thanks, Fabrizio. Come on, you Spurs.